quickly, particularly in the open water, because the water bugs out there, they'll be quick to get away from you. And in order to knock them off the vegetation, often it helps if you agitate the net as you're sweeping. So imagine that you've got maybe, what are we going to say, damselfly larvae, or there could be water beetles in the stream, or there could be mud-eyes dragonfly larvae, or mayflies or something like that. They might be attached to the vegetation, but they're going to be holding on to avoid being swept away by the water. It also makes it harder to catch them in your net. But if you're running your net along the veg and agitating it as you go, you've got a much better chance of knocking those bugs off and catching them. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is fill up your tray. Not full of water, but enough that the bugs will survive until you release them later. So, something like that. Okay. And then taking your sweep sample in the different microhabitats. So if we aim for a vegetated edge, it might look something like this. Okay. There'll be a little bit of sediment in the bottom of your net. You probably won't be able to avoid it on every occasion. Tea bag. So that's a bit of a dangerous term. But if you dip it up and down, you'll end up washing most of the sediment out, and just keep doing it until the water coming out the bottom of the net's clear. Then you'll have a clear sample. So after each sweep, or you can do multiple, as long as you don't risk the water bugs escaping as you go. So maybe we'll do another one from the open water. So that would look something like that. And we don't have too much sediment in there. So 2 sweeps so far. Try and get to around 10. Empty it out. And you're going to have a lot of veg and debris in the sample. That's fine. At least that stuff we can turf out later once we make sure that there are that we minimise the amount of water bugs that might be caught up amongst it. So don't necessarily worry about that too much here. We'll bring the trays back. They'll have leaves and plant material in them, but you'll sort through that once we're back at the tables. So a couple of samples, keep going. So one from the shallows without getting too much mud. As I mentioned, from the logs, you run out of microhabitats, just keep sampling. So the undercut banks, or other areas where there's a bit of veg or logs around the edge. Once you've done about 10 sweeps, spent around 5 minutes getting your sample, put in the tub, and we'll walk back and start ID.